My name's Hunter Folsom. I went to school here. Just last year I graduated and got a presentation for you about human relations in agriculture. Now before I start, just like the last presentation I did, any of you know what human relations are?
Are you talking about human to human or
Yes.
human to
Talking about
agriculture?
human to human, like what is human relations? Not in like a relationship, but like
Yeah.
if I was talking to you, that's the type of human relations we're talking to. Interpersonal skills.
I don't know.
Well, I got a question for you then. What is the importance of ethical choices and trust? Ethical choices, trust, and self-disclosure in agriculture. Now, I know not all of you are involved in agriculture specifically, but you live in an ag community. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, man, this guy's crazy. I don't even know what half those words mean. But I'll give you some definitions and maybe that'll help clear things up. So, ethical choices are a difficult decision in any situation in which there is no clear right or wrong answer. So, it's kind of a catch-22 with ethical decisions. It's like, you guys are all in high school. Well, Mom told me I needed to be home by midnight, but she's not home, so should I stay out longer or should I come home when she says? So that's kind of an ethical decision where there's no right or wrong answer. It's basically what you feel. Now, trust, I hope you all know what trust is. But it's a firm belief in reliability, truth, or the ability of someone. And self-disclosure, this is probably the one that was turning the most wheels of trying to figure out. It's a process of communication by which one person reveals information about himself to one another. So, it'd be like me telling you that I have 11 toes. That would be something, it's kind of secret sharing, but it doesn't have to be that in depth. So, what would be the important things of all these in agriculture, or just in any workplace in general?
What would be the importance of them?
Yeah. Why would these three things be important in any workplace situation, whether it be agricultural, industrial,
Because if you're working with someone else, you have to have trust in them not to mess something up or blame it on you.
Yeah, and you want to make sure they're making ethical choices.
Exactly, because if you're working with somebody and you can't trust them, how are you gonna feel working next to them? If you can't trust them to get their work done, then obviously you're gonna be looking over your shoulder all the time.
Like for the self disclosure, if you're meeting a company that you plan on working with, and they have they know that their product is harmful to the ag community, but they don't disclose that during your meeting.
Yep.
Like different chemical companies and stuff like that. That could be really harmful to your business.
I think this is actually a big one, because this has to come before usually either one of these two. Because if you can't trust me enough to share something about each other or to have a good relationship or bond, then how are we gonna trust one another, or how am I gonna be able to make ethical decisions when it involves two people? So in farming, decisions get made every single day that are career altering. So if you're with a business partner in the ag field, and you can't communicate with them, then how are you supposed to trust them to make decisions about your business? That's kind of the point I'm trying to make with this here discussion. Now, this next one should be a little easier for you to answer. What are some qualities of a professional employee? Well, first off, do you guys know what a professional employee is, or employer is? Sorry.
Someone that owns or runs a business.
That would be an employer, but and then now we're looking for the characteristics or qualities of a professional one. Do you guys have any? Somebody you would love to work for. What would you want to look for in an employer? Nobody? Do any of you have jobs?
Yeah, like nice, trustworthy, experience.
What about this side of the room? This side of the room's awfully quiet. Any of you three have a job? Well, in your employer, are they a good one or a bad one?
Good one.
So what are some of the characteristics they have that?
You want them to be friendly. You don't want them to just want them to be able to joke around with you, but at the same time be your manager.
Now, I have 4 right here, but that does not mean there's only 4. There is, probably 10 or 15 good characteristics or qualities of a professional employee. But you want your employer to be able to talk to you. If you're afraid to talk to them, then it's never going to be a good relationship. Because, if you have a problem, you have to be able to feel comfortable walking up to them and telling them how you feel. They understand the importance of work-life balance. Because let's say you have a family and your employer wants you to be at work at 9 a.m. every day, but your kid gets deathly ill. Your employer has to be able to understand that you need to take time off for your family, because that's also important to a person. And this one I feel like is big in agriculture, especially with family farms, is views employees as partners. Because from personal experience, I'd like to farm with my family, but my dad and uncle have a hard time realizing that I'm not, their nephew or son anymore, and I'm actually a partner in the business. So that's, personally for me, that's a big one. Trying to open up somebody's eyes to realize that you're a partner, not you should be treated like a partner and not just as an employee. And open to new ideas and feedback, because in nowadays times, if you're not taking 10 steps forward, you're in reverse, because everything is so cutting edge today that if your employer won't take and be open to new ideas and feedback, then honestly, what's the point of working for them? Because you're never gonna be moving ahead for the next step. So now that we've discussed good qualities of an employer, have any of you had an experience with a bad employer or an unprofessional employer? Nobody? You've all had really good employers. Even you, Mr. Thompson? You never had a bad employer through your entire high school, college?
Oh, sometimes when I work with my father, sometimes me and him butt heads on the job once in a while.
Yeah, that's a family thing. That's a tough one.
And I worked 2 different jobs at the college, being different teacher assistants, and I would say one went a lot better than the other. And I just, like you're saying, the communication level with the one that wasn't so good probably was one of the reasons why it wasn't as fun of a job for me.
Yeah. So these are the qualities of a professional employer. What are the qualities of a professional employee? So all of you that have jobs, what do you expect out of yourself every time you go to work?
Definitely showing up on time, working hard, things like that.
This side of the room got any more? This side of the room seems active. What about this
That's
side?
it.
Don't slack off.
You're on the right track.
I tried.
So communication skills, like this has to go both ways. Your employer has to be able to communicate with you, and you have to be able to communicate with your employer. Honesty and work ethic, because today, bigger than ever, work ethic is a huge thing. You can get a job if you can work hard, because today I've talked to numerous employers on trying to find an internship, and they have a hard time finding people that can work hard. So take this as a lesson, learn how to work hard, because that is a life skill that will get you a lot farther than you actually realize now. And determination and persistence. Employers want somebody that won't give up when the going gets tough, because if they do, then really what's the point of having you if you're not going to try to work through something even though it's difficult. And working with others, just like Mr. Thompson has said, if you can't work with others, it tends to make things less enjoyable. And to be an efficient employee and having a good experience, you have to be able to get along with people around you. Because here at school, I'm sure there's people that you don't get along with, right? Do you try to stay away from as much as you can?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's frustrating to work with. Just like in a group project. You guys have all had group projects. If you get stuck with somebody who just wants to put their name on the project at the end and doesn't want to do any of the work and wants to shove it all all on other people. That's kind of frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so, the ability to work with others is a huge one, because if that person, you can't coax them into trying to do their part of the project, then it makes it tough for everybody else in the group. And problem solving skills. That's another big one, because employers don't want somebody that, when it gets tough or confusing, they just say, you know what, oh well, I'm done. They want somebody who can try to work through a problem when they get it. So, those are some qualities of a professional employee. Now, how would this, after I listed them all and explained them, how would this relate to the ag work field? No ideas.
Just everything you said, you just have to be that for the egg. I don't know, like, it's all the same.
Yeah, and you're right. That's what I was trying to get you to realize.
Yeah.
Just because you're
Doesn't
working,
matter what you're working for.
just because you're working in like a packing plant, doesn't make it any different from the skills you need to bring to work with you.
Yeah.
To then working at like here as a teacher at a school, you still have to bring the same positive attitude, work hard attitude with you. So that's the main point here. I want to show you that, people think farming or agriculture is just driving tractors. Well, there's a lot of business too. So all these skills get used in every field of work. And so that's what I really wanted to show today. That's all I got. Do you guys have any questions about what I presented today?
Not really. You're pretty clear on everything.
Well, that's good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you letting me come in here and present to you. Thanks.